Welcome to Black Girl Say Something, where this black girl has something to say. And I just wanted to pop in really quickly. Didn't get to post an episode Friday, but that's okay because today is Tuesday and this black girl has something to say. But with that being said, I was celebrating my son's birthday, so I took a little time for just him and I. As you know, if you've been following my journey and listening to the episodes, I have two kids, and I've celebrated their birthdays this year. Well, we made a decision last year during our family Christmas cruise that they wanted to do their birthdays separately. So with that being said, my son's birthday was celebrated in New Orleans, Louisiana. That's where he wanted to go. He wanted to do the whole seafood and, ghost tour and swamp tour thing. And let me tell you, I'm just a girl. But everything that my son wanted to do, we did. And it was such a good time. And the culture and the experience and the food really in New Orleans was just amazing. And because we don't get to eat seafood as much as we would like, considering that my daughter is allergic, let me tell you, we ate seafood every day. There was shrimp and crab legs every day was his choice. It was his birthday. And we had such a great time. But we did like all of the typical touristy things. I even got a chance to go on Bourbon Street and walk the strip. I'm not much of a party goer like I used to be, but just wanted to see like what it was about. And to be quite honest with you, because maybe it was because it was a Sunday, it wasn't as crazy as I had heard it to be from other people. I didn't like go on TikTok and look and see like what it could be. But I remember in the past, Bourbon Street being like this crazy, crazy place where beads, but I also went very early. So, I didn't want to go out too late because considering like it's just me and my son. So we didn't do that, but he turned 10 and it's just such a moment. I think I wrote a post on Facebook and it's like, is it only me or is the true measure of time our children? Because I remember my daughter being 10 and now he's turning 10. And there's just so much life and so much to live for and so much to see and so much to do. And he's been so many places and he's done so many things and he's only 10. And here I am at 36, just in as little as 8 weeks, actually. I will be 37. And I always joke and say, well, now that he's 10, I'm turning 10 because 3 plus 7. But since he's been turning his age, I've been since I've turned 30, I should say. When he turned 3, I turned 30, and I was like, oh, I'm just turning 3. But since he's been growing in age, I've been kind of on the same track with him when I add my age up. Just a little joke that we have amongst us. But it's so interesting. The measure of time is really children. And it's like to be 36 and to have been to as many places as him, and he's only 10. It's just, I don't know. It just piques my curiosity. So I just wanted to say something about that and share that with you all. And I wonder if I'm the only one with that ideology, right? That the measure of time is our children. And so we ended up doing a ghost tour. That was pretty cool. We do have an episode of Black Girl Say Something dropping on our YouTube where I talk more about our trip. And, we drop an episode on YouTube every last Friday of the month. So this month we'll make it August 30th. We'll be dropping an episode. But in being in New Orleans on the 19th, which was his birthday, we got there Saturday. They're an hour ahead of us. So that's really why I didn't record an episode, because the time really threw me off. They're on Central Time, I believe, and I'm on Eastern Standard Time. But the ability to just do everything and, kind of get into your spooky mode where it's like the full moon happened while we was there, the super full blue full moon or whatever you call it. And it's funny because it's like the old saying, once every blue moon. And so we had the blue moon and we don't get another one for another 13 or 14 years, I was researching. But we were walking the strip and my son knows nothing about like palm reading, psychics or anything like that. And he's like, Mommy, let's do this. And so we did it and he got his palms read, which was interesting, right? Because she called out who he is and who he will be, based on just not even a conversation, just, I knew it to be true because conversations I've had with him, but this lady don't know him from a can of paint. And so also she was like, you know what, Mom, let me do one for you too. And she did one for me. And it just lets me know that I'm on the right track, right? You ever question if you're on the right track? You don't need a reading to know if you're on the right track. But when in Rome, you do as the Romans. So when in New Orleans, that's what, you do. And I didn't know it was such a big thing there. But aside from watching Princess and the Frog, let me tell you, going to New Orleans, Princess and the Frog definitely did capture the culture that is New Orleans. Like, it's very rich in culture, rich in food and family, and everybody hustles, even the homeless people. We saw a man with 2 dogs, and he was charging people, the tourists, I guess, to pet his dog. Because, people and dogs, they get weird. Certain type of people, they get weird with dogs. And so just watching him hustle, I saw a man selling dirty jokes for $1. There was a man who was selling, he was an artist, and he's like, if you let me sketch you really quickly, that was like $20. Like, I didn't get caught up in that hype because I'm used to like the hagglers, but where I'm from, the homeless people typically just ask you for something or ask you for something to eat. But these people were willing to exchange services for the money. You wasn't going to be giving them money for free. And so it's very different. The culture is different. The air is very different. Very hot, very humid. But all in all, it was a good time. And I just wanted to come on here and share that, getting out of cycles, getting out of karmic cycles, getting out of anything that doesn't feel fun. Have fun or let it go. Have fun with it or let it go. Have fun with them or let it go. And be at peace when you let it go. And it is okay to grieve the things that you have to let go. Because I say all of that to say that when we were in New Orleans, my son did say, I wonder if my birthday would be this fun if my daddy was still around. And I said, you know what? I don't know. Because the one thing that I'm coming to realize is that there's those unanswered questions. And I don't want to give him answers to certain questions. There are certain things I can answer within reason, but there are certain things that I won't do. I will not make excuses for him because I'm reading this book. And the reality is, if a child has received uneven parenting because of the loss of a parent, because of neglect, abuse, or just an emotionally unstable parent, right? Because a parent who overindulges their child is actually doing harm as well. And a parent who is neglectful is just as harmful. So you kind of have to find that even medium balance, which the chapter I'm rereading, I should say, being assertive and being supportive. But I'm also in a space where I'm reading the chapter of the book as an adult, learning how to accept assertive and supportive care. And what does that look like? And why do I struggle with receiving those types of care, so that I can be better to my children? And so with that being said, I don't make excuses for his dad. I don't answer, because eventually life will allow them to meet, the courts, whoever makes the decision will allow them to meet, and then he can ask his dad those questions. He'll never be able to say, my mommy already told me that this would happen, because I don't know what could happen. Especially we're in a place of non-contact. I could only hope that he is doing what he needs to do. But in the meantime, in between time, I can only do what's best for me, and what's best for me is what's best for them. And so if something was said that encouraged you, share this episode with at least one person. And remember, you can tune into Black Girl Say Something every Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. There'll be some links in the description of this episode. Follow us on TikTok, like us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube, because we will be dropping an episode on the last Friday of every month. Thank you for listening.